Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Let me turn off my music. I have my mood booster playlist playing along. How was your day?
Oh, pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. How about yours?
Nothing uneventful.
My twins turned 16 yesterday, so we were still.
Oh my God, that's right. I saw that. I meant to make a comment. Oh, how sweet.
We're kind of coming off of that activities. And how about for you?
Hold on, let me close my door here. Everything it's good. Today was a very productive day. I'm almost done with a course that I created on gratitude for the Gratitude Advantage, and it's going to be a 5-module course. So I just finished entering all the content today. This weekend I'm going to record videos and then go into editing and proofreading phase. But I'm very excited about that. Like I can feel my energy is super.
Right.
I can almost see like all of my cells kind of jumping inside of me. Like it just feels really good.
Yeah, it's that creative flow. It feels so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've been working on it for the past 2 weeks, and it just has been flowing really well. So it's been really nice. So I'm very excited about that. I want to finish that. So it just feels good. So I've been working on that. The kids had a lot of schoolwork today, so I barely heard them or saw them.
Yeah.
It's been a good week, and it's 1st of May.
Yeah.
April is over.
Made it. That's awesome. Yeah.
April is over. Another month that has gone by, and it's the 1st of May. And we've been in for 6 weeks now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, it's like 48, 49 days. Yeah. Since March 13th. Yep.
So I was thinking that today maybe we could take some time to just acknowledge that another month went by, right? And we started month 5th of 2020. Even though we are at home, do you feel like it's going by really fast for you?
Yeah, it's funny. It's like I saw something that was like March felt like it was 3 months, and April felt like it was like 2 days. It's like it's true. It's like it's just going really fast, and it's just kind of odd. I think people are getting into their own new rhythms. I'm feeling like less people seem as confused about like what day it is and what to do when. I think that probably helps that the kids have more structure now, like everyone kind of has established new routines. The new normal, I guess.
The new normal. Yeah, this is exactly what I thought. Our new normal. It took us a while to get there, but it feels like we got there. It's our new normal. We are adjusting. We know it's not going to end within the next month. So, and it kind of feels good, right? As human beings, we actually need to have some sort of routine. It's what makes us feel safe.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that part of like that people were feeling anxious about, especially early on, was the not knowing like how long or when. So even just why nobody was happy to hear that everything was closed again until the end of May, but the fact that we have the concrete information, I think it makes people feel better.
That's true. That like now we know things are going to be closed until the end of May. We're going to be living like this for another month. We know what to expect too, because before we didn't, right? In the first 2 weeks, we all hunkered down And I don't know anyone who actually went out, and that those first 2 weeks really was shelter in place for a lot
Yeah.
of people I know. And then, we started going to the store, going to the pharmacy, but still in place, not doing much. But that after the first 2 weeks, I feel like we were all so like in alert and so hesitant. Like we because we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what was going to happen. It could change at any minute. It could go worse at any minute. We knew it was not going to get better at any minute. But then now we've lived through it for 6 weeks. And now we know we're in shelter in place for another month. We know what to expect. We know how to do it. Like I see, do you notice at the store and when you exercise that people are a little bit calmer as far as distancing is concerned?
I actually stopped exercising outside. I stopped running because I felt like it was just too difficult dealing with like it was we run to feel like less stressed, but it was too
Mhm.
stressful dealing with everybody else's anxiety. So I
Yeah.
just been exercising here, but yeah, at the grocery store it does feel a little bit better. But I think we all are finding our own routines too. Like I only
Right.
go just now certain stores at certain hours because I know what it's like. And I'm sure other people have developed their own new routines of what is comfortable for them too.
Right. Right. And for me, because I'm on the mountains every day, I've noticed that people are more like moving to their lane
Okay.
much
Right.
quicker, much swifter. Like before, I remember, I was walking and there's 2 or 3 people coming. They were still all side by side
Mhm.
and wouldn't move. And that made me uncomfortable because,
Right.
they don't know. I don't know if I have anything. They don't know if I have it. But then now it just feels like a flow. Like at least how we are passing by each other on the trails is just, I go to the right, they go to their right, we just hello, hello, have a good day, beautiful day.
Yeah.
And so it feels a little bit more like there's a flow. But I do agree with you too that it seems like people now know the best times to do what.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because
Well, it's
it's
good.
true. I went to the store a few times and now I know when to go. Like
Yeah.
very first thing in the morning, there's nobody there.
Right.
I feel really good going then. Like at lunchtime, there's a lot of people there.
Mhm.
So it makes things a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think everybody's kind of finding their own new routines with their comfort level. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah. And um, yeah, I mean, I feel like one thing that is still hard for me is like, I feel like being a sensitive person, which I think we both are like pretty empathic, that like when people get like stressed out or about where you are, it can, like we talked about, it can stay with you.
Yeah.
um, and I'm still feeling like people are just on edge and agitated, and like even like walking around town, you know it's like with my kids, you have to be, okay, come over here. It's, you don't want to be, it's like everybody. So, and when I say thank you to people, usually they don't answer me. So
That
I'm
is so true. You
just like,
know,
I still speak through your mask, but
I saw someone posted on Facebook last week um, something like this. I don't like going to the stores anymore, period. That was it, right? And then in her own comment, she wrote, it just feels like you were in the cemetery. You're going to a funeral because no one looks at you and no one smiles at you and no one says good morning or hi or hello when you say it, no one says it back.
so
It's
weird.
really true. Every time I'm on the trail with my daughter, we say, hey, hello, beautiful day, have a great hike, whatever. People don't reply. I would say 2 out of 10
I know. It's
will
so
reply to our greetings. And I agree with you. I just, we really don't know how to still be kind and human when we are afraid.
right. It's like everybody is so on that in that state of fear that they forget that you can still, be friendly from a distance.
Exactly. 6 feet apart. That's all we need. We can still talk to people. I did walk by a very good friend of mine on the trail. And I called his name and he looked down and was like, oh, hey, Miriam. I stopped there. I'm not being judgmental. It's just, this is just conversation, right? I stopped there and I swear to God, I didn't even know what to do next. I didn't know if he didn't realize who I was, but he said, hey, Miriam. And then I thought, oh my God, like, does he think I'm sick? Or is he that fearful that he can't even stop 6 feet away from me? Like, because we actually used to work out together and we used to hike together in the group. And I haven't seen him in 2 months. So that would be the perfect time to,
Right.
from one, it was the fire lane. So it's pretty wide.
Right.
I could be on the right, he could be on his right. And we could just, check in about each other's kids and how he's doing, but it was just so bizarre to me. I didn't even know what to do
That's so
for a
funny.
second. And that really, you're right, that really got to me for very good 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. I wonder if I think that, yeah, it's like, and people don't realize that it has that effect, or it's like, it's just like not even, there's like, so in survival mode, maybe, I don't know.
Right. It
But
doesn't
I
register.
wonder if it's also like partly because people don't know, they don't know if you're going to want to get closer than they are. Like, you know what, it's like nobody knows what other people's comfort is.
It's true, because we don't know.
Mhm.
In the moment like this, we don't even know what our comfort is until something happens.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right.
Just to
So
keep.
I was thinking that that we could take a minute ourselves and just look back at April, 30 days in a month, 30 days that we've been cooped up at home, helping our kids with their school stuff, pivoting our businesses for those who have brick and mortar businesses, figuring out how to move forward, figuring out the next month, figuring out the summer, all the plans that now have to be rescheduled, canceled, changed. But let's look back at April and find what worked and find things to be grateful for. And this could be it's a very easy exercise. The next prompt: what was surprising in April that now you look back, you're like, wow, that was a very good surprise.
Mhm.
Something that happened. And for us, this is kind of easy because, people are saying a lot, spending more time with my kids. This is the number one
Right.
thing that people say. And it was the first thing that came to my mind too.
Mhm.
But besides that, what is one surprise that happened in April that now that you look back, you're like, wow, this really was cool, and I'm so grateful that that happened.
Mhm. Well, I think what for me was difficult at first was the lack of schedule structure. But it actually, once like you kind of surrender into it and just like kind of like have your list and kind of have your general idea of what needs to happen that day, because everybody aside from the kids have certain calls, but the high school kids don't as much. um the There's kind of like it's almost, you can relax a little bit into the fact that you can have more fluidity about when you do what, and if somebody needs help with homework, you can, and you need to like do something else for your work or something, you can help with the homework and then it's not like everything. Before this happened, I would be like driving back and forth between my daughter at college in Marin for evening classes and my work and events at the store and like tutoring. I was in the car back and forth like all night from 3 to 8 or 9. Um,
Right.
and that was just almost, it's like the fluidity of being able to have more. It's very, you can kind of sink into it and just like, it's, there's something nice about that. So that was good. How about for you?
I I would have to say something very similar. Not having to wake up early
Mhm.
and make lunch boxes, because even though my son is a freshman in high school, he doesn't like to eat the food there.
Mhm.
So he still brings food from home. He buys a couple of things, but he really doesn't buy the lunch there. He doesn't like it. So he brings the stuff from home. So I'm always making, I do really need to give this chore to him. It's, he's 15 years old. I shouldn't be making his food. But I like it. I like doing that for him. He's going to be gone in 3 years. I'm not going to be making that anymore. And I know I'm going to miss that. So I do it with pleasure and love. But I do have to say, not having to do it, it's been great.
Yeah.
Not having to wake up at 6 because I have to wake up at 6, it's
Mhm.
been great. So I wake up whenever my body wakes up. Sometimes it's 5:30, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 7:30, right? They don't have calls until 9 a.m. when they have with the teachers, so they don't really need to wake up that early. Um, I've been having amazing conversations with my kids because of the opportunity of time that we spend now. I've been working out with my son, who wants to now be a personal trainer. And I've been dancing and hiking with my daughter. So we have this one-on-one time, and that has yielded amazing conversations. I, published a blog post this week that actually came about from the conversations I've been having with my kids when they really started opening up how the shelter in place has been affecting them
Mhm.
and what it is that they've been feeling and thinking. So, and those are things that if we didn't have this opportunity, I don't think that I would get to know their feelings and thoughts in that depth.
Mhm.
So that for me was really good. A third thing is really my um, personal health, my workout routine. It's been really good. I've been really, I'm doing like that Peloton app.
Okay. Mhm.
So it's been really great. So I do that, and I do some yogas from Gaia, and I've been doing meditation every day, the guided meditation, writing on my journal, and like things that I didn't have the chance to do
Mhm.
before.
Mhm.
Now I'm really doing it, so I'm really appreciating that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think maybe we're giving ourselves a little more permission to do those things because we know that we have to take care of our mental health too, and physical and mental health is connected.
Yeah, self health has been huge.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think that this, yeah, it's not just the time with them, but kind of like the opportunity to do new things, like yeah, or just spend a little more time on homework or projects. And yeah, it's nice.
This personal time that we are spending, I think is a little bit easier for us because our kids are older.
Mhm.
I think if our kids
Yeah,
were anywhere between,
yeah,
3 and 9,
right.
would be very difficult. And I have friends with kids at their age, and they are so exhausted. They are ready for this to be over, and I feel for them.
Yeah, I can
But
imagine.
that's not my reality, so I
Yeah.
can't speak to that. So yeah, it's been really great to have that opportunity to be with them, and I think that they are growing so much right now
Mhm.
because they have to figure out so much on their own.
Right. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. And the schools are trying to figure out how to navigate that, like to give them the support they need, but sometimes they can't because this is new to them too. Yeah.
They don't have the teachers right then and there, right? They are not in class, so to communicate with the teachers, they have to email and wait for a response. So they have to figure out on their own. Like my daughter is super good at Khan Academy website.
Yeah.
Anytime she has a doubt, she goes there. And it is a skill that she didn't have before. So
Right.
again, in the midst of so many difficult things that we've been going through and so many bad news, there's always something that is working. There's always something that shines light into our lives. We just need to look for it, right?
That's true. Yeah. Very true. So, one thing I wanted to, I think you had asked me about exercise to give people for May. So that actually leads into that. So I wanted to talk a little bit just before we close. Do you have anything you wanted to add about the kids? About kind of reframing to shift to a place of grace from a place of from when you're feeling like, because sometimes I know we're all just get to that place where we're like anxious or it's just too much. And so basically, when something's upsetting you or you feel stuck or anxious, so just a few questions to kind of sit with.
Okay.
So first, one is, where does my perception of this experience come from? Is it from my ego, or is it, and like personality self, or is it from my inner knowing, intuition, higher self? So really, I think the more you meditate, this is really something that's helpful to do when you're meditating, because it's easier in that quiet mind place to decipher that where the feelings are coming from. But really, I think we all know, like when we know something versus like when it's like the mind chatter.
Right.
And is this way of viewing your situation causing you like pain, anxiety, heartache, to whatever is this view that you have causing you to have a lower vibration in the world on an energetic perspective? Is there, and this is for me, I think one of the biggest ones, because I'm really into learning from the difficult things. Is there grace or learning in the situation or experience? Am I or
So
others
good.
growing from this despite the discomfort? So like what's the silver lining? Every thing we go through that's painful has something we can be grateful for. And if I can't see it, am I blocking the growth by holding on to this way of thinking?
Right.
So is there an attachment to being in this state? And then shifting out of that, what is another way that I or someone else may see the situation or experience? And what might it feel like to experience it from another perspective?
Yeah.
So that's the shifting.
So would it be like you would ask someone else, or you would put yourself in someone else's shoes, or you would try to think like someone else?
I think really taking the ego part away and being like, okay, if I were someone else looking at my situation, how would I see me? And also, how would someone else maybe experience the same situation in a different way? Like, what are other ways I could think about it?
Can I just say, this is really powerful, this question. I did see that happening with a friend, actually.
Yeah.
When I asked her it was just simple. I just asked, said, okay, if it was someone else doing or saying what you just said, how would you have reacted? And you saw the person saying that, and it's just like, oh my God, I would not like that.
Yeah.
And I said, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really important, because when we get our ego out of the equation and we ask ourselves, if it was someone else behaving this way and I was watching.
Yeah. I was in a parenting class once, and she said, imagine that you're always being watched and you're parenting. It's kind of like that. It's like how would you want to be how would you want to be experienced?
This is true.
So then I came up with three. So basically, I want the last thing is for everyone, if you want to take, do the exercise, what are 3 reframing phrases that you can come up with and say, when you're sitting here looking at this process, that will start to shift things in your mindset and energetically, and from your perception from this moment forward. So basically, like if you were in a meditation and you were doing this, like 3 new ways of saying what you're going through,
Right.
and feeling it and moving it through you, so that from that moment forward, like that's where you're coming from. So you're basically mentally and energetically committing to the shift.
This is so good. This stuff is so good, Stecia. It really is. It has this flow of, observing where we are to, where is my perception coming from? Is it from my belief system? Is it from my ego? Is it from facts? Is it like, where is that coming from, right? Is this way of viewing the situation causing the lower vibration, like more anxiety, more fear? And this is so important. If we were to just give a step back, and to do that, all we need is few deep breaths, and we'll immediately calm our emotional brain, right? And be able to ask questions like this. If we were just to stop and say, okay, is my way of thinking, feeling, and behaving causing me more pain, causing me to continue feeling this way and actually getting worse, like lowering my vibration? I really love that. And the attachment part, how many times we do not let go of a belief, of a feeling, because we are so attached to it.
Yeah. And I think that once you get into that, like, kind of rut of we were talking, it's like that, it's a different kind of way of, it's in that like almost reptilian brain. It's like you can't, at some point, at some level, it's so much harder to get out of it once you sink into it. It's that fight or flight, like reactive.
That
So
is so true.
so these are all the things we can do, I think, to catch ourselves, hopefully, before, I think the more, at least for me, the more I do this type of thing, the easier it is to, when I start to go there, to come back to being a little more rational, less reactive.
And I will say that, the 3 new ways, like the reframing phrases, find 3 new ways to explain how you were feeling, explain what you were going through, is so powerful, because the more we voice our thoughts and feelings and beliefs, the more we repeat that in this intentional work that we are doing, that you just proposed, the less intense the thoughts and emotions will become.
Right.
Because we'll immediately start letting go and eliminating things that are like, I don't really need that. That's not really true.
Well, they become dissonant with our new way of being. And so they don't stick as much because
right.
Yeah.
This is so good. This is really, really good. I might take this, write a blog post, totally give it up to you on this, but this is really good stuff. It's such a good flow, and it's such a good way for us to start May with the intention of being more attentive to our thoughts, feelings, and actions, and where we can cause a shift, reframe, live with more grace, so we can increase our vibration.
Yeah.
I love this. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And I know that everyone watching this later is just going to absolutely love it. This is so good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So on Monday, we're going to have a guest talking to us about gratitude. He is a healer and channel, and has just a really and a yoga teacher, and I think he'll have some good ideas for us. And then we also I have some, I know you have somebody that you are speaking with. We have some exciting guests coming on. Someone I know is also going to come speak to us about using crystals in a gratitude meditation practice. So,
Oh, can't wait to hang out with all these people.
All right, I'll see you Monday.
See you Monday. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.